Hey. Oh, wait.
What's up?
Uh-uh.
Oh, yeah, take it out. Take it out, honey. Honey. Take out the dentures.
What's up, guys? Sammy and Spencer here with Live and Free.
Hello.
From our comfy couch. It's freezing in here, which is such a gift from God to have AC in Hawaii, so I actually love it. But I'm freezing, so I'm wearing a blanket.
I am a man, and so I don't need a blanket.
He doesn't get cold. So today I thought it'd be fun to ask Spencer what he wished women knew. Whether this was him going back in time and being single again, or even now pertaining to marriage. So I want to ask you.
That's an interesting question.
What do you wish that women knew?
Do you have any specific questions or what it relates to?
My thought kind of is, I know that you dated a lot and you were very open trying to figure out what you liked and what you wanted. And I know a lot of those relationships, thank God, didn't work out. All of those relationships besides me didn't work out. And I know you had like a hard and interesting dating journey. And you learned a lot about women. And there were a lot of misunderstandings and things like that happened. And we're going to make this a short video. It's not going to be long because our other videos are like 40 minutes long. But if you could condense it, if you could go back in time, or even pertaining to marriage now, what do you wish women knew that would make that process feel better, more life-giving, more successful?
I think that question would be answered differently for every single male because we have different triggers. We have different things that we grew up with in our environments with our moms and in relationship to our moms. A lot of times if we, the way that we see our moms, or like as men specifically, the way we see our moms or relate to our moms or do life with our moms creates belief systems around women. So for me, I think there was, one of my biggest triggers was a fear of being controlled.
Why? For people, no, it's not to this question, it's before. For people who don't understand that dynamic, like, why does your mom have anything to do with it?
What do you mean? Why does
your mom have anything to do with your belief systems and with dating? Just for people who haven't been on this process and don't understand that.
I think it's a lot to unpack, but I mean, your mom creates your belief systems around nurturing, around femininity. Like when you grow up with your parents, they're basically God to you. And so they're in your God spot because you don't have enough conscious mind or critical awareness or thinking to be able to understand who God is. You just recognize that you're a child that is growing and you have tons of needs and your parents are responsible for those needs.
So mom is like the representation of all women and femininity, and dad is like the representation of all men.
And masculinity.
So based on your experience of mom and dad, it can actually sculpt and build the way that you see all women or all men as a whole.
So for me, a big trigger was women trying to control me. And so anytime a girl was enforcing expectations on me and was withdrawing love to try and control me, I had big triggers. Also, commitment was really scary because I was scared that, like my dad, I would have to shut down my heart and voice in marriage to satisfy a woman. And I believed women were fragile because that's what I grew up believing about my mom, because there was this unspoken normal or code in our family that our goal is to make sure that mom's satisfied, and we'll do whatever we can to make sure that happens, and there's a whole lot of story that goes into that, and I have a whole lot of honor and love and respect for my mom, but that was an actual dynamic that played out. And so what I wished women knew, it was specific to my triggers and my fears. And I wished women, one of the things that I really wish women knew was how to take ownership for their lives, their triggers, their pain, and work through it. I wish they knew how to understand their emotions so they could clearly communicate to me what they're needing, and not have that expectation be on me to have to meet it for them to be okay. You know, I think a lot of times Disney Channel, movies, The Notebook, like The Notebook, love stories, creates this idea that that good men will move the entire world to the side to pursue you and will save you. And it's like there's this savior concept of men that exists where they don't have any space or room to be imperfect or have problems or, you know, insecurities and pain to bring to the table.
Well, and with the expectation that I think society has created for man to come in and be that hero and that savior, what it actually looks like modern day in scenarios is I'm expecting him to know what I need without me ever having to communicate and bring my vulnerability and share what I'm needing, what I'm wanting, or why or how. I just want him to know the thing that I'm needing because that is love. That's real pursuit. It's for him to do that thing, even though he doesn't know I want it, even though he doesn't know that that's an expectation, but that's what love is, and that's what's going to give us chemistry. That's what's going to make a good relationship and a good marriage. And so I'm waiting for all these ducks to be in a row in order for him to be the one, when really that's actually just codependency.
And honestly, that's what a lot of people do, though. It's not just women. It's just, in my case, I'm trying to just go, okay, what would I want women to know? But most people feel so incapable of meeting their own needs that they expect the people that are closest to them in romantic relationships to meet those needs before they ask for them. And like you were saying, it doesn't feel romantic, or like I don't feel actually loved unconditionally unless you're reading my mind and knowing what I need before I ask for it or need it, so that I can be so loved by a savior.
And the worst thing is it actually removes all vulnerability from the relationship. Like, vulnerability would look like me saying, man, it might honestly look like, man, I wish Spencer knew that I really wanted to be pursued by him today. I wish he knew that I wanted him to wake me up like this, or send me a text in the morning, maybe if you're dating someone, and then ask me to dinner and like come and wrap his hands around my waist and pull me in. I wish that he loved me enough to do that. Well, vulnerability would look like, oh, I'm actually needing pursuit. I want to feel desired. So it might look like me saying, hey, babe, I'd really love more connection today. Could you like touch me or scratch my back? I need a hug right now. Could you would you just love on me for a couple minutes? Or maybe could you like validate me and remind me of the things that you love about me? Because I'm feeling like I really would just love to feel that pursuit energy from you. It's vulnerable on your side to say, man, I'm really needing this, and I'm going to invite you into it. But what I'm doing is I'm creating intimacy and connection by bringing vulnerability, and I'm actually empowering him to get to meet my needs. So he gets to decide powerfully, I either want to do this with the information I'm given, or I don't want to do this, or I have capacity, or I don't have capacity.
I also feel like the more that I see you light up when I love you in the way that you vulnerably asked me to do that, 5 years into marriage, when we're seasoned and we've learned how to deal with triggers and pain and vulnerability, it's so much easier to go, I have learned this pattern that Sammy loves to be loved this way. And I can powerfully step into that, and I know how to because she's been so good at communicating over the years that that's a way that her heart feels loved. It still involves years in me being intentional, but now I know the way you function because we've done life enough.
And it's happened over time. It totally has. So what you're saying is you wish women knew that they could communicate things powerfully.
I think there's a few things. I wish that women knew that their needs were valuable, that they weren't too needy for having needs, but that those needs could be powerfully met by themselves and by God, and so much so that by the time they were in a relationship, they could extend that as a vulnerable invitation and go like, hey, you know, would you mind telling me what you think about me in this area? You know, if you're in a dating relationship. If the guy's like, honestly, babe, I'm having like a really hard day, the girl can go, instead of feeling rejected or internalizing and making that about me not being loved by you, I can go, okay, totally. let me know when you're ready to connect, and I'm going to go love on myself. But I'd really love to still connect with you. It lets the guy know that I don't desperately need you for me to be okay in this area, but when you're ready, I'd love to be loved in this, still. Good. So that kind of stuff, I think, so that knowing that your needs are valuable, that you're worthy of having those, learning how to communicate them in moments in an inviting way and not with expectation attached to it.
Yeah.
And then also
control.
Learning how to relinquish control. I think those are some big ones.
Can you hit on that before we wrap up? Like
Control.
What would control look like in a dating relationship or in marriage, and what would surrender look like in a dating relationship or marriage?
I think control oftentimes in relationships looks like withholding love or punishing until the other person can figure out how to put you at ease. It's like, I'm going to withhold love from you so that I communicate to you that those behaviors or this lack of love is not okay in this environment.
Yeah.
And so it's control, because I'm actually withholding love or punishing you with the desired result of you doing what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And so what a lot of women do is create space, or people do in relationships. I won't just say women. People do that, where they create space, but but there's a healthy way to create space where you go, hey, I'm feeling really triggered in this dialogue, and I don't want to say things I don't mean, and so I'm going to go love on little Spencer. I'm going to go love on myself. I'm going to go get time with God so that I don't bring all of this reaction energy to the table. So I'm going to create some space. I'm going to take some space so that we can connect. The goal is connection. The goal isn't to punish you or to change your behaviors. But what a lot of people do is they take actions for the sole purpose of changing your behavior so that I don't have to feel pain. And so really, that control is a reaction to the fear of pain.
Yeah.
I feel like I have given you full control over my internal world. And so if you're not okay, then I'm not okay, and that's codependency.
Yeah, so good, babe.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. We might start breaking down some more questions like this. If you have topics that you want Spencer to share about or that you want me to share about, throw it below in the comments section. I was going to say the chat box. This is not Zoom. Throw in the comments below what you liked about this video, why it was helpful for you, but then topics you want us to cover moving forward. But we hope that you enjoyed, and have a good day. Watch our other videos. Click around.